you want to access your highest timeline, then this is one distinction that you must not miss. It's around understanding your oneness. There's nothing separate outside of you. 3D reality is not something separate from you. It is you. Mm-hmm. And it's the vantage point when I've had my one God spark moment on an airplane, and I know you've had yours. The common denominator is God, the divine, came through as unity, as oneness. There was no separation from anyone, anything.
Yeah, I'm getting full body chills while you say that. Yeah, because it's not even like necessarily an understanding per se, as it is a direct experience, right? Like when you're on the plane, it was a direct experience. Like if someone
it wasn't even an understanding. It was just a deep knowing.
Yeah.
It was just a knowing.
If you were to read about being the one, or hear about being the one, or try to understand being the one,
no, that's a good point.
That's not gonna, so through direct experience. So I guess the question then is, well, how does someone directly experience their oneness? And that is always through the present moment of now, where there is no, this is what you have. Mm-hmm. This is what there is right here, right now. You are already one. So one of the most annoying things that I heard a mentor say a long time ago, but actually is very true, is if you want to fast track your awakening and understand how to be awake, or, in your God consciousness, it's just to recognize that you're already awake. Like, you're just pretending to be the separate sense of self. So we're all walking around with little, I like to use the metaphor of goggles on, and these goggles are separation consciousness, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the game of duality that we came here to play.
What God chose.
That's what we came. This is an accident.
This is why we chose to be here, to forget who we are, so that we can have the experience of remembering.
Yeah, remembering, not proving your worth, not becoming your worth, not striving your worth, not sacrificing for your worth. None of those things. Just you are innately that. And so this is so powerful, because it's really hard to talk about something that you can only have a direct experience of, because language is very limiting when you're talking about this. But so when you had your God spark moment, can you describe it a little bit? Or
So I was in complete breakdown. I was going through a dark night of the soul, or an ego death, in health, with money. Money was drying up. I had health stuff was flaring up, and I hit a breaking point. And so I was actually on a plane back to Arizona from Florida. I had a 4-hour trip, and I have been into Neville Goddard for several years, since 2016. And I was reading a lot of Neville Goddard at that time. That was just kind of helping me ground into my I am presence, and when everything was so chaotic, because I was going to my next level, not knowing it. I didn't know it. If you watch our last video where we talked about how when you're going to your 10x next level, the 10x is knowing, remembering that you're the one, that you're God in human form, the divine, universe, whatever resonates with you. But because I was in this breakdown, I'm on an airplane, I was listening to Neville Goddard, I shut it off, and then I got an intuitive hunch to clean out my photos in my phone, my favorites. I have 30,000 photos in my phone, and I have about 3,000 photos of my favorites. So I was really? But I was all right, I'm going to follow the intuitive hunch. So that's a key too. If your intention is to remember your oneness, live life, be the fullness of you, because you're already doing it.
Yeah.
But intentionality is
very powerful.
So if you have an intention, then pay attention to what intuitive hunches you get. So anyway, my intention wasn't anything except be present, and I got the hit to clean out my photos. As I was cleaning out my photos, there were a few screenshots from when I read Neville Goddard's book in 2016. And when I read those screenshots, something clicked. It was as if the 14 years of personal growth and development and my own intuitive senses, just everything clicked, locked, and my beingness just became one with everyone on the airplane.
Oh my God, I love it.
And I looked around, I felt the presence of God in me. It was what Neville wrote on the page, so there was a frequency.
What did it say? Do you remember what
he
said?
In essence, the quote on the page was, for God loved us so much that it died to its old identity in hopes, it died in its old identity to resurrect man and live as man in hopes that one day man would die to its identity and remember that it's God.
Oh my God.
And that gives me chills.
I'm getting full body chills while you're saying
Oh,
that.
I lost it. I started bawling on the airplane. Thank God I was in the back. I put my sunglasses on. I felt one with everyone on the plane. I felt like everything clicked in one fell swoop. Like there was no mind. There was just unity. There was just love. There was just presence. And I could feel the God, source, spirit, essence in every single being on the plane. And I knew my life was fundamentally forever changed. And so
yeah, this is so.
I woke up a different woman the next day, and I devoted to myself. I'll tell you what brought so much emotion up, and I'll probably even just feel it again, is hearing the words, God loved us so much that it died to its old identity so that man could live in hopes that man would someday remember. And I just felt the devotion and the love in that. Like how much creator energy God source would love its creation, that it would die to its identity in full hopes to forget who it is that we would remember.
Yes, I love that. Oh my God.
I mean,
it's so good. It's so good. And the couple words that jumped out is I am presence and no mind.
Yeah.
And it's just a direct experience. And so you can't even really create that. There's just things that can support possibly that.
Your soul's gonna wake up when the source in you decides it wants to. However, if you're drawn to this video,
it's not an accident.
It's not an accident.
Yeah.
When was I feel like you've had multiple moments, but did you have like one kind of God spark moment for you?
I did. It was actually on Holy Thursday last year. And I've had several glimpses. You call them God spark moment. I had glimpses. And one that really stuck that was like, oh.
It clicked.
It was very simple. It wasn't like, I mean, there can be emotion there, and there can be oftentimes be some people I've spoken with have had like moments of like sadness and stuff because they realize they've never been that old identity, and there's a moment of
like grief,
a grief for the old identity that they realize. Mine was so simple and profound simultaneously, but it wasn't like, it's not like fireworks go off necessarily. No. It's always been that way. It's like the glasses just come off.
Lifted.
The veils lift, the glasses come off. And I remember I was sitting actually with a mentor on a Zoom call. She was already self-realized, and I was just called to book a call with her. And I had already had so many glimpses like in nature and things like that, but there was just something that called me to that. And she walked me through just like being able to drop into the present moment. And for some reason, the thing that clicked with me that really was like that self-realization moment, for lack of a better word, was realizing the here-ness and now-ness of that presence, and realizing that it's the same presence that's always been there when I was like 5 or 10 or when I'm 100. And that's the only thing that's been constant. Like the body's changed, the characters, the personality, the patterns, the conditioning, the mindset, the style, like everything's changed. But what's the one thing when you drop the name and you drop the character, the personality, the thought patterns, the conditioning, the body, all the things? So I literally dropped everything, dropped everything, and what's left? And what's left is your presence. And in that moment, it just like Michelle said, it just clicked and realized my true nature. And once that happens, there's an oscillation. Some people can stay there, and then that's it. They're and then some people go in through oscillation and purification after that, where everything that was me as well. That's what's happened over here is rapid fire purification after that, and oscillation, and it feels like, oh, you lose it and then you got it again, and you lose it and then you got it again, and that's a sign that you're oscillating between wearing the character of the personhood and being the expansiveness that you are, that is one with all things. And so you'll oscillate and you'll purify any conditioning that is not in harmony with that. Yeah. And not, sometimes that some patterns will stick long
until you stabilize. Eventually you'll stabilize. And I feel like I still grow through oscillations, although I'm feeling more stable. The analogy, that's a beautiful analogy too about that kind of the oscillation. Another analogy that's coming through, I've heard this in the personal growth and development space, but back in the day when pilots were taking flight and breaking the sound barrier. So no one had actually done it yet. And I want to say it was like Dexter Yeager was the first pilot that was able to successfully break the sound barrier. But the way that works with a sound barrier is the aircraft has to like get up to an altitude and a speed that's so uncomfortable because the plane literally is like vibrating, chaos, oscillating, going like nuts. Like it's not stable yet until you actually break the sound barrier. Then it's smooth sailing on the other side. Everything's stabilized. But until then, like I said, it's either Chuck Yeager or Dexter Yeager. I can't remember. Please forgive me. But he had figured out how to maneuver the plane in a way that could stabilize. So even with your vessel, even with your consciousness, even if you notice you're oscillating back and forth, your I am presence just loves you. It's just there. It is you. It's you, it's me. There's no separation between Sarah and I. There's no separation between us. We are literally just reflections and extensions of the God state, the universal source energy that is you, that is just projecting a message back to you because maybe that's the way you can hear it right now.
Have you ever watched that movie, I Heart Hucklebees?
No.
Oh my God.
I'll have to watch it.
You have to watch it.
Okay.
Watch it. It's like a spoof on enlightenment.
Oh.
And it's so funny. It's got Mark Wahlberg. It's got a lot of funny people in it. But there's a lot of, for some reason, what you were sharing made me think of the blanket moment. So if you have watched it and you know what I'm talking about with the blanket moment, the blanket truth, go ahead and drop it in the comments and let us know. But I won't spoil it for you. It's really, it's hilarious.
Is it? Okay, especially if it's something funny.
It's got like Naomi Campbell in it, Mark Wahlberg. It's got so many people in it, and it's hilarious. It's got the guy from Rushmore. It's hilarious.
Oh, see, and laughter. We talked in our last video about the frequency of joy and play, like just tuning to the frequency of laughter. I mean, that's just our like natural state. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, no, it's super funny. It's so good. And that's part of the process. Like, God has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And such a deep curiosity for its creation, which is you, which is this, which is all of this, that you're not separate from. There's such a level of, like, as you anchor more and more into presence, like every moment is, you're no longer trying to escape into the future or ruminating in the past through the mind anymore, because it becomes so full of content,
delicious in the moment.
Delicious in the moment.
Yeah.
That you're no longer trying to escape and run from your past or chase some kind of future accolade or success. And that doesn't mean that you become, you throw in the towel at life and you just sit around and do nothing. No, because that's something that the ego will tell you that will happen as you surrender and control, or that just naturally happens. You can't even force that to happen, but the mind will sometimes fall into what appears to be like a depression as you move through the undoing of the mental patterns, because the mind wants to stay so in control. And as that personal will starts to dismantle, people can fall into like what appears to be like a depression. It's really, like the void, the dark night of the soul, things like that. It's really, that's the undoing of the mental hooks and the old way of being a separate sense of self in this world. Everything gets flipped on its head and everything is reversed from what you actually believe it to be true, but that's just part of the process as well. So I don't know why I was feeling called to share that, but yeah, that's part of the process.
No, that's good. And it's like when you've outgrown the old state of consciousness, the state of being, of limitation and being separate, like it feels uncomfortable. And I just was reading that somewhere too. Depression, it can feel like a depressive state because you're stabilizing into your I am presence, and
the personal will is actually dissolving.
Yeah,
the egoic drive, because we're so driven, motivation, things like that.
That's
tends to fall away.
Paradigm, the Matrix has built us. Matrix milestones.
Yeah, we gotta do more, be more, have more, succeed more.
Hit
those
Matrix
things.
milestones so we can check the box so that we can finally feel good enough. When all along, the divine in you chose you as you to live the experience through you. So that you can, like the 3D reality matrix is not bad. We chose it. Now we can live from a more expanded consciousness, move into a state of consciousness is how you shift out of different realities. With your I am presence, you now have access to go to any dimension. And the dimensional shift starts when you shift through a frequency, through a state of consciousness, by being conscious that you're the one. And when you're conscious of it, you now are thinking, acting, speaking through a different frequency, which allows you access to other timelines, access to far greater than you could ever imagine, because the divine in you chose you and this world. Like, we're not trying to break out of the matrix and run away. It's not like we're trying to get out of here. We're trying to relish in all, see it in a higher fifth dimensional perspective, and enjoy the evolution of God, the divine of you and you, and there's the oneness through all of us with our perspectives of source.
Yeah.
Drop a comment if this resonates for you. Have you had a God spark moment or an awakening or a glimpse of oneness that resonates with you? We'd love to hear it. And be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be alerted anytime we're producing more content. Anything else?
That's good.
All right.
I think that's it.
Bye for now.